I arrive gently into your night, like a soft breeze touching the surface of a sleeping lake. If you are here, then your soul has been searching, not loudly, not desperately, but quietly, like a monk walking barefoot under moonlight. You did not come by accident. Something inside you whispered, "Rest now. Peace awaits." And so you listened. I invite you to allow your body to settle, to soften, to loosen the invisible threads holding every thought, every worry, every responsibility. Feel the bed beneath you, your quiet sanctuary. With each breath, imagine your muscles melting, sinking, letting go. I breathe in with you, slow, calm, weightless, and I breathe out, releasing the noise, the tension, the world outside. Tonight, I am not a storyteller, only I am a companion to your spirit. I walk beside you, step by step, into a garden untouched by time. You may not see it yet, but already the path is forming before you. Moss beneath your feet, cool and soft. Lanterns glowing softly in the mist. Crickets singing quietly, like monks chanting from faraway mountain temples. Here, the world slows until it feels still enough to touch eternity. And, as I guide you, I feel something to a gentle hush, a sacred calm that reminds me of evenings spent in old monasteries, where wise monks whispered truths you could only understand with your heart, not your ears. They would say, when you breathe, breathe as if the universe breathes with you. When you rest, rest as if mountains are resting to dot. So breathe again now, slowly, without effort. Let the breath move through you like a quiet river through ancient stones. Let your eyelids grow heavier, as if soft feathers are lowering them. Let your mind drift like incense smoke curling through temple air. Perhaps you have arrived with thoughts, still circling echoes of conversations, unfinished plans, memories that tug softly on your sleeve. You do not need to push them away. Just place them beside you gently, like leaves resting on water. They will float and they will pass. Each moment, your inner world becomes quieter, softer, kinder. Once wandered with thoughts like restless birds, I, too, searched for a way to quiet the beating of a mind always reaching forward or backward, but never resting where it stood. It was in a forgotten Zen garden, hidden beyond a narrow bridge and ancient stone steps, that I first learned stillness. A monk once placed a warm cup of tea in my hands and said nothing, not a word. We simply sat, and I realized silence is not empty. Silence is full of peace, of truth, of breath. Tonight, I offer you that same silent tea, not to drink with your lips, but to taste with your soul. Warm, gentle, settling. With every inhale, feel warmth spreading across your chest down your arms, into your hands, your legs, all the way to your toes. With every exhale, imagine dust being blown from ancient books in your heart, revealing forgotten wisdom that was always yours. The night outside may stretch endlessly, but inside this moment, time folds softly. You are safe. You are guided. You are wrapped in a quiet glow, like moonlight resting on temple rooftops. The world cannot reach you here, not stress, not noise, not fear. Only peace in its simplest, purest form. Stay with me as your breath continues to soften, in gentle and slow, out like a sigh released after long travel. Each breath a step deeper into tranquility. Each heartbeat a reminder. You deserve rest. You deserve stillness. You deserve peace just as naturally as the sky deserves stars. Soon, I will begin telling you the forgotten Zen tale stories carried across centuries by monks with quiet minds and hearts shaped by the wind and mountains. But for now, just rest in this beginning. Let your breath become the softest cloud. Let your thoughts dissolve like morning mist on temple stones. You are here and you are safe. Nothing to do, nothing to prove. Simply drift with me into stillness and let the night cradle you gently in its ancient arms. Tonight, peace has found you, and you are finally home. I remember the first time I stepped into the forgotten monastery, hidden deep within the mountains. I had been walking for days, my feet aching, my thoughts restless, and the world behind me still clinging to my mind like dust on worn robes. There was no map that led me there, only a quiet pull, a feeling, as though ancient voices in the wind whispered my name and guided my steps. And when I finally reached the gates, old wooden doors marked with time and wisdom, I felt something shift inside me. A silence so rich, so alive, seemed to breathe around me. An old monk stood at the entrance. His robe was faded, but his presence felt like a mountain, steady, unmoving, patient. He did not greet me with words. He simply lifted his eyes, looked at me, and offered a soft smile, as if he had been waiting for me long before I knew I would arrive. Without speaking, he motioned for me to follow. We walked through the monastery courtyard. Lanterns hung from wooden beams, glowing softly like memories that refuse to dim. Bamboo rustled in the wind, and each sound felt sacred, like a breath shared between earth and sky. I felt my heartbeat slow, my worries loosen. Still, part of me wondered why I had come, what wisdom I hoped to find, what questions I carried. The monk stopped near a stone, well covered in moss. He placed his hand on its rim and finally spoke. His voice, a gentle breeze across still water. When the heart is noisy, he said, Even truth whispers unheard. His words sank into me, not as commands, but as reminders. I had lived so long with noise, the kind that never shouts, yet never rests. Plans, regrets, hopes, illusions, swirling like leaves in a storm. Perhaps that was why I had walked so far, to find the space where my own soul's whisper could be heard again. He handed me a wooden bucket and pointed to the well. I looked at him, unsure. Drawing water seemed like a task meant for novices, for workers, not for someone seeking enlightenment. Yet he only smiled again, patient and knowing. So I lowered the bucket slowly, hearing the rope creak, feeling gravity pull the weight downward. The bucket touched the water below, and ripples shimmered like silver in darkness. "Listen," the monk said. I froze. The ripples faded. The world around me grew impossibly quiet, so quiet I could hear my own breath echo within me. I realized that in my life outside these mountains, I rarely listened to silence. I listened to noise, to urgency, to desire. But silence, it had always frightened me a little, like stepping into a vast unknown. He placed his hand lightly on my shoulder, and in that touch, I felt centuries of stillness, like mountains resting through seasons without complaint. "When you draw water," he whispered, "draw clarity." I lifted the bucket, heavy but steady in my grip. The water shimmered in the light, clear and pure. The monk took a wooden bowl and dipped it gently, then handed it to me. I drank slowly. It tasted like the heart of rain, like clouds dissolving, like peace untouched by time. The monk motioned for me to walk with him again. We entered a small meditation hall where candles flickered softly, their flames dancing like quiet souls. Several young monks sat inside, eyes closed, breathing as if each inhale was a blessing and each exhale a release. Their stillness was not empty, was awake, alive, deep as oceans, yet quiet as falling snow. "Sit," the monk said simply. We sat facing each other. He placed a small stone between us, smooth and round. "What do you see?" he asked. "A stone," I answered. He nodded once. Then he closed his eyes. "See again." I stared at the stone. It looked ordinary, nothing mystical. But as I gazed longer, my breathing steadied, and gradually the world blurred around it. Suddenly, it was not just a stone. It was earth, time, patience. It had once been the mountain, then wind and rain shaped it. Sun warmed it, moss brushed against it. Rivers whispered near it. Countless footsteps passed by it. It had existed long before me and would remain long after. It held silent history. When I looked up, the monk's eyes were already open, watching me gently. "When you look with the mind, you see objects," he said. When you look with the heart, you see truth. A breeze passed through the hall, soft as breath, carrying the scent of pine and incense. It brushed my face like an old friend welcoming me home. I felt a calmness seep into me, as though something inside was opening. A door I hadn't known existed. The monk stood and walked outside again. I followed. The sky above glowed with soft twilight, colors melting together like a watercolor painting left in the rain. Birds rested in branches, no longer singing, simply existing in harmony with the fading day. Why do monks stay hidden in mountains? I finally asked. He smiled, looking toward the horizon. We are not hiding. We are listening. Listening to the wind, to the water, to the silence between heartbeats. When the world forgets how to listen, noise becomes life. But when the soul hears again, everything becomes a teacher. He led me to a small wooden bench beneath a flowering plum tree. Petals fell like snow, landing softly on our robes. One petal drifted into my palm, fragile, light, perfect. I stared at it, and for a moment, the entire world felt contained in something so delicate. The monk whispered, "Life does not shout. It blooms quietly." I felt warmth spread through my chest, a loosening I could not name. The worries I brought with me, the ones that clung to me like vines, began to release. Not because I fought them, but because there was no room for them in this peaceful space. That night, monks gathered beneath lantern light, chanting with voices that felt like rivers flowing through ancient valleys. Their words were not understood by my language, but by my heart. Each sound soothed me, as if smoothing the rough edges inside my soul. I closed my eyes and breathed deeply. The mountain air felt like silk against my skin. In that chant, in that stillness, I realized something. Wisdom is not found in seeking loudly, but in being quiet enough to receive. The world is always speaking, but we hear only when we become soft enough, empty enough, still enough. And in that moment, I understood why I had come, not to escape life, but to remember how to live. Not to find answers, but to remember I already carried them, buried beneath noise and rush. The whisper of the ancient monks was not a voice from outside, was an awakening from within. Breathe with me now, slowly. Feel the stillness touch you like gentle hands. Feel the ancient voices resting in your breath, guiding you, reminding you, peace was never far. It was only quiet, waiting patiently for you to return to yourself. And tonight, here in this gentle night, you have begun to return. I remember waking the next morning as if the night had washed my thoughts clean. When my eyes opened, I felt as though I had slept inside a cloud, weightless, untouched by worry, carried gently by something ancient and kind. The first light of dawn rested on the monastery walls, golden and soft, like blessings brushed across the world. The air was cool, and a faint scent of pine drifted on the breeze. I could hear birds greeting the sun and distant temple bells ringing with slow, peaceful resonance chime, a reminder that time did not push here. It merely breathed. The old monk, the one who had guided me the day before, was already outside. He stood at the edge of the courtyard, his hands folded behind him, watching the river far below the mountain slope. I walked toward him, silence wrapping the morning like a warm shawl. When he heard my footsteps, he did not turn. He simply spoke, voice calm as ever. "There is a temple beyond the river," he said. "Few see it. Fewer still understand why it calls." He finally looked at me, eyes bright like water reflecting sunlight. "If your heart is ready, we will go." I felt no hesitation, only curiosity, and a sense that my feet already knew the path before my mind could ask why. So we began walking down a stone trail, steps carved long before my time, each one worn by countless pilgrim feet. Bamboo arched above us, whispering secrets to the wind. The world seemed to breathe with us, slow, deep, ancient dot. We walked without speaking. The silence was not empty. It was sacred, a path of its own. With each step, I felt lighter, as though the mountain gently removed pieces of my lingering restlessness and left them behind like fallen leaves. Eventually, we reached the river. It flowed wide and clear, sunlight sparkling on its surface like scattered stars. The water hummed softly, a living hymn, older than temples and older than thought. A small wooden boat waited at the riverbank, tied to a post. The monks stepped in first and gestured for me to follow. The boat rocked gently as I sat, and the river welcomed us without hurry. The monk picked up the oar, dipped it silently into the water, and began rowing. Ripples spread outward, soft and mesmerizing. For a long moment, we simply drifted. The river moved slow, and time seemed to match its rhythm. I watched the current carry petals from cherry trees, upstream tiny pink boats floating freely, unburdened by destination. Something in that sight tugged at my heart. I wondered when I had last allowed myself to drift without purpose, without pressure, without expectation. I could not remember. The monk spoke without looking at me. "Most people cross rivers in their lives," he said, "but very few know why." "What do you mean?" I asked softly. He lifted the oar and let the boat glide on its own. We chase what we think we need. We run from what we fear. We move because the world moves. But sometimes, he paused, letting the river speak. Sometimes we must cross, not to reach somewhere new, but to leave behind who we were. I looked down at the water, at my own reflection, trembling in the gentle waves. I did not fully understand, but something inside me stirred. A recognition, a softness. The far bank slowly approached, quiet shorelined with tall grass that bowed gracefully in the breeze. When we stepped out of the boat, the land felt different, not in sight, but in essence, like stepping into a memory I did not recall living. A narrow path wound forward through wildflowers and low stone lanterns covered in moss. The world here felt untouched by time, held in a sacred stillness. We walked until the trees parted, revealing a small temple nestled at the foot of a cliff. It was simple, humble, wooden beams weathered by countless seasons. There were no grand statues, no towering gates, only stillness, deep and steady. A single paper lantern hung above the entrance, its flame glowing softly inside, like a heartbeat in a shell. I expected the monk to lead me inside, but instead he stopped at the temple steps. His fingers brushed the railing gently, as though greeting an old friend. "This temple," he said quietly, "cannot be entered with footsteps, only with understanding." I looked at the doorway. It was open, inviting, yet he did not move. A stray breeze lifted the edge of his robe, and a few petals drifted past us. "What must I understand?" I asked. He turned toward me, his face calm, patient. "Why you crossed?" The simplicity of the question unsettled me. I had not crossed with any specific intention. I had followed, trusting the way. But now that I stood here, a faint stirring of feeling rose in my chest, like a small bird fluttering behind my ribs. Was it longing? Was it release? I could not name it. The monk lowered himself to sit on the first step. He closed his eyes as though entering a prayer without words. I sat beside him. The earth beneath us felt cool and grounding. For a while, we simply listened to wind brushing leaves, two birds calling gently from hidden branches, to the slow pulse of the river behind us. And in that quiet, my thoughts settled one by one, like sand sinking in clear water. My heart slowed, breath deepened. I closed my eyes. When I opened them again, I noticed carvings on the wooden doorframe I had missed before. They were subtle tiny characters etched gently into the wood. Ancient, delicate. I leaned closer. They formed a simple phrase: "To enter, first release what you carry." I stared at the words, feeling them echo through my mind. What did I still carry? I had thought I had left worry behind. Yet here, in this place so quiet and honest, I felt it small but persistent. The ache of expectations, the subtle fear of being enough, the weight of time, of past mistakes, of future uncertainty. I breathed slowly, letting each thought rise like a leaf lifted by wind, then fall softly away. I imagined laying each burden on the riverbank like stones, one after another, until my heart felt light enough to float. Without opening his eyes, the monk whispered, "What remains, once all else is set down, is truth." A gentle warmth spread through my chest, not sudden, but blooming gradually like morning light spreading across a valley. It filled me, quiet and soft. I felt tears touch the edges of my eyes, tears not of sorrow, but of recognition, of coming home to something I forgot but never lost. I looked again at the temple. It seemed to glow softly, not with light, but with acceptance, with invitation. The doorway no longer felt like wood, and shadow it felt like a passage inside myself. I did not stand. I did not walk forward. I simply breathed. And in that breath, something opened, not around me, within me. A temple, quiet and sacred, waiting beyond the river of noise I had carried for years. I closed my eyes again and let myself enter, not with feet, but with stillness, not with seeking, but with surrender. And in that silent entering, I found peace, not as a place, but as a presence that whispered gently through my breath, through the rustle of trees, through the river behind us, through the heartbeat inside my chest. You are enough. You have always been enough. Rest here. When I finally opened my eyes, the monk was looking at me. His smile was small, soft, knowing. "You crossed," he said simply. I nodded, feeling the truth of his words wrap around me like warm cloth. The river still flowed, but now it seemed not a boundary, but a bridge, not a barrier, but a blessing. We rose and walked back toward the boat, the temple behind us fading back into silence, waiting for the next heart ready to listen. The breeze brushed my face again, lighter now, as though welcoming me back, not to the world outside, but to myself. As we stepped into the boat and drifted backward across the river, I felt something in me settle, not a conclusion, just a beginning. The beginning of knowing that peace is not found by reaching outward, but by returning inward. That temples exist not only beyond rivers, but inside every breath when we learn to soften, to let go, to be. The mountain waited for us, and I followed the monk back toward the monastery. The world seemed unchanged, yet everything felt different. I felt different, lighter, clearer, more whole. And as we walked, the monk whispered without turning, as though speaking to the wind and to my soul together. Every river you cross in life asks the same question. Not where you are going, but what you are ready to leave behind. His words settled into the deepest part of me, and with each step back up the mountain path, I carried not worry, not fear, not burden, but only breath, only presence, only peace. And I knew then I would never look at rivers the same way again. I returned to the monastery with a heart made lighter by the river's crossing. Yet the journey was far from complete. The morning sun had risen higher by the time we arrived, warming the stones beneath our feet, casting long, gentle shadows across the courtyards. A faint breeze moved through the bamboo and temple bells swayed softly, letting out shy little chimes like whispers shared between wind and memory. The old monk said nothing. He walked steadily, hands folded behind his back, and I followed, trusting the quiet guidance of his presence. But instead of leading me back to the meditation hall or the sleeping quarters, he took me down a narrow stone path I had not yet seen. It wound through tall grass and low lantern posts, each one cracked and aged as though they had been lit by centuries of pilgrims before me. The path opened suddenly into a small garden, hidden like a secret in the folds of the mountains. I stopped without meaning to the sight, gently stole my breath. It was simple and yet profound in its stillness. A pond rested in the center, its surface so still it reflected the sky like polished glass. A single koi fish glided beneath the surface, leaving ripples like soft thoughts drifting across water. Cherry trees surrounded the garden, their blossoms falling one petal at a time, silent rain of pale pink. The fragrance was delicate, almost shy. A soft stone pathway curved around the pond, leading to a tiny wooden pavilion where a teapot and 2 clay cups rested, steam curling in thin threads from their spouts despite no one being near. The monk motioned for me to sit. I lowered myself onto the wooden bench inside the pavilion. He sat across from me, movements soft as if choreographed by centuries of calm. Without speaking, he poured tea into each cup. The steam rose gently, forming soft shapes that vanished almost as soon as they appeared. He placed 1 cup before me. I wrapped my hands around it, feeling warmth seep into my palms and then into my heart. I waited for him to speak first, as always, but he said nothing. Instead, he lifted his cup and held it in both hands, not drinking, simply holding, accepting, appreciating. So I held mine too. There was no rush here. The tea did not demand to be sipped, and the moment did not ask to be filled. Silence sat between us like a wise companion, gentle and patient. The koi fish turned beneath the water again, carving a slow circle as if drawing peace into the pond itself. After some time, I could not say how long. 4 times softened here, the monk finally spoke. When tea is held, it warms the hands, he said. When tea is sipped, it warms the body. But when tea is truly received, it warms the soul. I looked down at the cup, steam rising like a quiet offering. How do you receive tea with the soul? I asked, The monk smiled faintly, as though he had been waiting for that question. By presence, he said, not expecting taste, not seeking comfort, simply being here with the tea completely. I took a slow breath and brought the cup closer. I didn't rush. I didn't think. I simply felt the soft heat against my skin, the gentle aroma rising, earthy and sweet, the weight of the cup resting in my hands like a sleeping bird. Only then did I drink. The tea tasted like earth after rain, like warmth on winter mornings, like memory soft, familiar, grounding. It was ordinary, yet extraordinary in its simplicity. The monk watched me, nodding slightly, satisfied. You see, he murmured. In life, we drink without tasting, listen without hearing, walk without feeling the earth under our feet. We hurry, we hunger, we chase, and so we miss the world offering itself to us in every breath. A petal drifted into the tea between us. It floated gently, moving with tiny currents invisible to the eye. The monk lifted his cup again, and once more he didn't drink. He simply gazed at it. Wisdom, he said, is not found in knowing many things. It is found in noticing one thing deeply. He placed the cup back on the table. Most people collect moments, he continued, but they never enter them. His words settled around me like falling petals, quiet but certain. I looked at the garden again. The koi fish, the blossoms, the pond, the rustle of bamboo. The sun warming my shoulders, each thing existed fully, without needing attention, yet giving peace freely to any who paused long enough to notice. I wondered how many moments in my life had passed while I was busy looking forward or backward. How many cups of tea I had swallowed without tasting. How many mornings I had hurried through, never seeing the sky. How many blessings I had walked past, blind to their quiet presence. The monk poured more tea, his movements as fluid as water. Why was this garden hidden? I asked. He looked up. It is not hidden, he said. It is simply unnoticed by those who rush. There was truth, their deep, gentle truth. Peace did not hide from us. We hid from it. A breeze moved through the garden, carrying the faint scent of flowers. Leaves rustled softly. The koi fish flicked its tail, sending gentle ripples across the pond. In the distance, temple bells sang again, slow and low. Everything in this place seemed to breathe in its own time, in its own rhythm. Touched by urgency, the monk lifted his cup and finally drank. His eyes closed, not in worship, but in gratitude. When he opened them again, he looked at me with eyes that held both kindness and strength. Life is not something to conquer, he whispered. It is something to bow to receive, to taste. He motioned toward the blossoms drifting down. Do flowers hurry to bloom? he asked softly. Do rivers rush to reach the ocean? Does the moon worry whether it shines enough? I shook my head. Of course, they didn't. Nature existed without forcing itself, without doubting its place, without fearing its pace. But we humans, with our clocks and our ambitions and our anxieties, we forgot how to be. We became watchers of life rather than participants in it. The monk placed his empty cup down gently. To be alive, he said, is not to breathe. It is to taste every breath. Then, after a long silence, he added, slow down. The world will wait. Peace will wait. But your heart needs you now. Those words melted into me like warm sunlight. And in that garden, sipping tea surrounded by petals and quiet air, I felt something settle inside me. A softness, a willingness to listen not to teachings from the world, but to the truth inside my own breath. We remained there long after the tea cooled, not because there was anything to do, but because here, being was enough. When we finally stood, the monk touched his cup lightly, as if thanking it. I did the same as we walked back to the monastery. I noticed things I hadn't before: the glow of moss along the stone path, the tiny insects moving through blades of grass, sunlight flickering between bamboo leaves like golden prayer beads. I realized the garden was not a place one visits. It was a way of seeing, a way of living. Tea had been only a vessel. The true lesson was presence. And as I walked, each breath felt like a quiet sip from life itself, warm, gentle. Enough in that moment. I understood. There are gardens everywhere for those who walk slowly enough to enter them. The moon hung quietly in the sky, silver and serene, like a soft lantern guiding wanderers toward forgotten truths. Its light poured gently across the stone pathway, giving each step a glow, as if the earth itself wished to help illuminate the hidden corners of the heart. The night was silent, but it was not empty. It breathed with life, subtle, sacred, ancient. Even the wind moved carefully, as though it feared disturbing the stillness that had settled like a blessing on the world. Lone traveler walked slowly along the moonlit path, his sandals brushing against the earth with sound no louder than a whisper. His robes moved like ripples across a tranquil lake. He did not hurry. Each step was taken with intention, as though every footfall carried a prayer, a question, a gentle bow to existence itself. The river beside the path shimmered under the moonlight, as if holding stars upon its surface, letting them float free from the heavens for a moment of rest. The traveler paused at the water's edge and watched the gentle current flowing endlessly forward. He asked, not with words, but with the silence of a humbled heart, what does it mean to move without resistance? The river did not answer in speech. Instead, it offered the only truth it knew. It simply flowed. Around stones, under fallen leaves, reflecting moonlight, whether the sky was clear or clouded. It did not struggle. It did not pretend to be anything other than what it was. It only moved, surrendering yet strong, yielding yet eternal. The traveler sat and closed his eyes. Breath rose, breath fell. Each exhale softened the boundary between body and night. There were memories, like faint petals, drifting through the mind, moments of laughter, moments of sorrow, days when the world felt kind, days when it felt like a storm with no shelter. He did not chase them. He did not deny them. He allowed them to appear and dissolve like mist kissed by dawn. This was not forgetting. It was release, a letting go that honored rather than rejected. Far away, an owl called into the darkness. Its voice, low and solemn, instead of breaking the silence, it deepened it. The traveler understood silence was not the absence of sound, but the space where truth could breathe. So he allowed the silence to wrap around him like a soft robe, warm and protective. He could feel the moonlight on his skin, cool and gentle, and something within him settled even more deeply. It was as if the moon was whispering, not to his ears, but to his spirit. You do not need to rush. Truth is not found in haste, but in presence. After some time, he stood and resumed walking along the path. Ahead, fireflies drifted between the bamboo stalks like floating drops of golden tea. Their glow was soft, patient, humble light that did not demand to be seen, yet offered itself freely. The traveler admired them not as distractions, but as reminders. Truth was seldom loud. Wisdom did not shout. Peace did not arrive with thunder. They came like fireflies, small lights appearing quietly in the dark, teaching the heart how to see again. Further down the path, the traveler passed an ancient stone lantern covered in moss. Though unlit, it carried a quiet dignity. Even without flame, it served its purpose simply by being there. He touched the lantern gently. Its cool surface grounded him in the moment. The lantern did not lament its lack of fire. It trusted that light, when needed, would someday return. The traveler bowed in gratitude. Not every moment needs brightness. Sometimes darkness is the teacher, patience the lesson, waiting the practice. He continued walking until he reached a wooden bridge arching over the river. The boards beneath his feet carried the scent of rain long past, and the railing was smooth from the touch of many travelers before him. Standing at the center of the bridge, he looked down into the flowing water below. His reflection rippled and blurred, then cleared, then rippled again. He realized the truth the river was showing him. The self is not fixed. We change like currents. We shift like wind. To cling to a single version of ourselves is to deny our own nature. A gentle smile lifted his lips, not of amusement, but of recognition. The moon above reflected in the river, but even its reflection wavered. And yet, the moon did not mourn its distorted image. It simply remained what it was, steady in the sky, unconcerned by the temporary waves that reshaped its mirror. The traveler placed a hand over his heart and whispered, "May I learn to be like the moon unchanged by shifting waters." Yet compassionate to them, he left the bridge and entered a meadow glowing under the soft night. Flower petals moved faintly in the breeze, as though sighing in their sleep. The traveler walked through them gently, careful not to disturb their rest. The fragrance of jasmine drifted like a blessing, reminding him that beauty does not need to speak to be felt. Sometimes the most powerful truths are inhaled rather than heard. In the center of the meadow, he knelt, palms resting lightly on his knees. This was not a place of worship, yet it felt holier than any temple built by hand. The earth beneath him held the memory of countless seasons. Each blade of grass had known sun, rain, wind, and night, yet none resisted what came. They did not fear change. They bowed to it. The traveler breathed in, breathed out, and felt a deep truth rising like light in his chest. Peace is not the absence of movement. It is trust within movement. As the night deepened, stars emerged gradually, one by one, scattering themselves across the heavens like seeds of hope. The traveler looked up and understood that even the sky took its time. Darkness came first, not as punishment, but as a canvas. Only then did the stars reveal themselves. Light blooms from stillness. Growth comes from quiet. Understanding dawns slowly, like daybreak caressing the horizon. He lay down gently on the grass, feeling the cool earth beneath him, and closed his eyes once more. His breathing matched the rhythm of the world, steady, unforced, natural. Here, under the moon and the patient stars, he felt something inside him, open, not wide, not suddenly, but with the tenderness of a flower greeting dawn. It was a knowing, simple and profound. The journey inward is not about becoming something new. It is about remembering what you already are. A traveler, yes, but also the path. A seeker, yes, but also the truth waiting to be discovered. The sound of the river, the glow of fireflies, the steady moon, all of them whispered the same message. You do not need to chase enlightenment. You only need to stop running from yourself. And so he rested, not because the journey had ended, but because he finally understood there was no destination to reach, only moments to inhabit, breaths to receive, silence to honor, and beauty to witness. In the calm embrace of the moonlit night, his heart became as still as water, as open as sky, and as gentle as the wind moving through the bamboo. And somewhere deep within that stillness, truth shone softly, like a lantern lit not by flame, but by peace. The night has grown deeper now, quiet as a mother's gentle hum, warm as a candle glowing behind closed eyes. You have walked through ancient temples of wisdom, sat beside still waters, crossed bridges of reflection, and followed the moon until your heart softened and opened like a lotus at dawn. Now you are here, resting in a sacred stillness that you earn simply by breathing, simply by being. There is nothing you need to do anymore. No lessons left to chase, no thoughts left to hold. You have arrived at the doorstep of peace, and peace receives you like an old friend who always knew you would return. Feel the softness around you, like night air wrapping your body in comfort. Feel the earth supporting you with quiet strength. The world is not asking anything from you in this moment. It only whispers, rest now. You are safe. You are held. You are home. Let your shoulders loosen. Let your jaw unclench. Feel your breath come slower, gentle as ripples on a calm lake. Each exhale releases a little more weight. Each inhale gathers moonlight into your chest. There is nothing heavy here. You have permission to let go. You have permission to surrender into the sanctuary of sleep, like a leaf surrendering to the river, floating without resistance. If thoughts come, smile at them softly, like watching little lanterns drift away in the night sky. You don't need to follow them. You don't need to fight them. They are simply passing travelers, and you are the peaceful temple they pass by. You remain still, sacred, untouched. Feel how good it is to let thoughts pass without holding them. Feel how light your mind becomes when you stop trying to control everything. You are learning the greatest secret. Peace is already inside you. Silence is not empty, is full of truth. Place one hand gently over your heart, as though you are holding something precious, because you are. Feel the slow heartbeat, like a quiet drum guiding you toward calm. Whisper to yourself in your mind, or gently with your breath, I am safe. I am peaceful. I am enough. Let these words settle into you like warm tea spreading through your body. Your heart hears you. Your soul relaxes. You soften from the inside out. A soft breeze of imagination moves through your thoughts now. Picture a gentle lantern floating before you, glowing warm and gold, as if lit by kindness itself. This lantern carries blessings, blessing for your mind to rest, a blessing for your body to heal, a blessing for your spirit to shine without fear. Imagine this lantern drifting closer, and with every breath, it fills you with calm light. You become lighter, quieter, deeper. Your breath is slow. Your eyelids feel soft and heavy. Tonight, you are forgiven by life. Every worry is released like dust on a wind. Every mistake dissolves like salt in water. You have walked far, loved much, and learned quietly. That is enough. You are enough. Let this truth settle into you like dew settling on morning petals. You do not need to prove anything to the world. You only need to rest and return to your own sacred rhythm. If sleep is entering you now, welcome it tenderly. Let it gather around you like soft blankets woven from moonlight. Let your breath become so gentle it feels almost like silence. You are drifting to a place where dreams come not to confuse you, but to cradle you. The night sky watches over you. The stars guard your rest. The earth hums beneath you, steady and full of love. May you dream of peaceful gardens, where the breeze carries wisdom and every footstep leads deeper into serenity. May you see rivers that hold your reflection with tenderness. May you feel ancient monks blessing your rest with silent prayers carried by the wind. May your heart sleep like a child held close, without fear, without doubt, only trust. You are on a sacred journey, and tonight is not an ending, is a soft pause, a gentle door into quiet healing. When morning comes, you will rise renewed, with a heart clearer than fresh water, and eyes touched by dawn's first light. But for now, let the night hold you. Let stillness be your pillow. Let peace be your breath. Breathe slowly. Breathe softly. With each breath, sink deeper into the bed of tranquility beneath you. With each heartbeat, drift further into dreams woven from calm and kindness. You are safe. You are guided. You are deeply loved by the universe, by the quiet, by the gentle presence of peace within you. Good night, peaceful soul. Rest now. Let your spirit float like a feather into sleep. Let the world take care of itself. Your only task is to surrender to rest. Close your eyes. Soften your breath. Fall into the soft arms of stillness. Sleep like moonlight on water, quiet, pure, eternal. The night watches over you. Peace is here. You are home. Sleep. In calm, sleep. In love, sleep. In peace,